Welcome to the Rise to Thrive podcast with Matt
and Brooke,
where we embrace what it means to be human and explore how to become the most expansive versions of ourselves through vitality, connection, and play.
Expect honest conversations, transformative stories, and playful shenanigans as we unpack what it means to claim a life of your own creation.
Ready? Let's rise. And we're back at the Rise to Thrive podcast with Matt
And Brooke.
And today we've got
a special friend, or a special guest.
He's not that special.
He's a beautiful special in his very
enough.
own ways. We're all a little special.
Got Joshua Wade Miller in the house, everybody. Let's give him a warm welcome.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
How you feeling, Josh?
I'm feeling great, per usual.
As usual.
When do you not feel great, Josh?
Rarely. I feel pretty great most all the time.
It's pretty remarkable.
It's kind of my thing, right?
It is definitely your brand. I mean, I'm surprised you said most of the time you're feeling great. I thought it was 100% out of 100% of the time.
There might be a percent, 1 or 2% in there every once in a blue moon where I'm not.
What would an example of that day be? Like, give us some circumstances that might have you feeling not so great.
I mean, if I was, maybe lack of sleep is definitely going to put me in a place that's not as, 100%. But generally speaking, I do get a pretty good amount of sleep. It's sleep hygiene. I try to take care of it,
Even last night?
Last night was rough because I was flying. I left your part of the country. I left California snow to come back to North Carolina dreariness.
Oh, you guys got rain there?
Yeah, it's just dreary. It's not
Just
really
dreary.
raining today.
Let's talk more about the weather.
We're sick
I know
and tired,
you love that.
Sick and tired of talking about the goddamn weather.
If you want to know what the weather's like, go outside. It will tell you 100% of the
It'll
time
tell
what
you
the
every
weather
time.
is.
That's right.
So anyway,
You like my Brooke gave me the of course we're having tea as usual. Cheers. Sorry we couldn't offer you some, Josh.
I know.
You got
I
your
wish
tea?
I had some tea. No, I have
we
my
should have told you as a requirement for
essential
being on
oil
our podcast. That works.
diffuser. I'm not going to drink this, but I have it.
Please don't.
Perfect.
Is that a humidifier or a
Yeah, it's a diffuser.
diffuser? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha. Brooke hooked me up with the bug mug.
The bug
I like
mug.
that. The bug mug.
And I got the heart mug to
Nice.
infuse it with love. Codes.
For all the
Always.
ASMR fans, we got to do it at least once.
Love it. I feel
So
like you
good.
need to introduce the guest in the chair that is sitting there with you.
This guest that's blurry in the background because we got the nice bokeh effect.
For those that can't see what's happening here.
This is Senor Lamp.
Senior Lamp.
Senor Lamp has his own chair right here.
The lamp is part of our family.
Yeah. It's
It
going to be
really-
part of our podcast vibe. It's going to be mysteriously placed in different places and in the frame.
Is it even on? Oh,
Yeah, it's on.
Is it on?
We don't really
but
need
it
it,
looks
but
like
it
you're
is on.
interviewing him. It's really great.
It's
Josh
holding
the lamp.
space for you.
Yeah.
The ultimate space holder is our lamp.
That's
So
right.
should you introduce?
Okay, anyway,
little
that
bit
was a
about
very
Josh?
long little tangent, side tangents. Here we go. Stay in our lane here. Joshua is my best friend, I would have to say, and we have known each other, almost 8 years now, I think? 2018 we met. And we met at an Indian restaurant in Portland, Oregon. We were both starting work at an Indian restaurant together. And we sat down and we were filling out our paperwork together. And we just were chatting along. And our manager at the time was kind of already annoyed at how much we had just become best friends. And Josh had just gotten up to Portland from Burning Man. I hadn't been to Burning Man, but I was like, yo, no way. Like, if you're into that, we're going to have a great time. Because we explored the city, we went dancing, we went out to see music. And it was just instant friendship. Anything you want to add to that?
That's true. And here we are now, 8 years later, and I just left your home yesterday, hanging out with you two and your parents, and I feel like part of the family now.
You
For
are
sure.
certainly part of the family.
Yeah, it was a good little visit. Short but sweet. We obviously wish you could have stayed longer, but, we're glad you made the trek out here to beautiful Grass Valley. And we got to get into some shenanigans over the last week.
We did. Those were some good shenanigans.
Including a gender reveal for
Yep.
my brother's child. It's a girl, everyone.
It's a girl, everyone.
Yeah.
So me and Matt are going to be aunt and uncles. And eventually when Josh becomes an uncle to a future child of ours, he's going to be called Funkle.
That's right. I'm the Funkle.
Funkle, the fun uncle.
I like the funk. I like the funk and the funkleness.
Yeah, right on. I mean, so you guys met back in Portland 8 years ago, working at that Indian restaurant, and then hit things off and got to explore Portland together, right? For the first time. Neither of you had really spent a whole lot of time there before that.
No, but Josh moved there for a lady, and then he met me instead. So
you were the lady I actually was moving there for, but I didn't realize that at the time. Yeah.
And then we were roommates, and we've had a whole adventure together in Portland, a whole life where everyone thought we were dating, and we never were.
Including me when I met you guys back at Soul Rising. The second
you thought
and
that
third.
from the beginning? You thought we were together?
The moment you guys rolled up on my campsite, I was like, oh, this is a friendly little couple coming over to say hi, while I was setting up my tent. And,
yes, I remember that moment very well. It was like, who's this funny Canadian fella? You just had a funny air about you that I was like, this guy's all right.
A funny air. That's what I had, a funny air.
Funny air.
He was the only new man, beside you at camp that I didn't know. So I was like, mysterious.
And we told that story in a previous podcast.
So go back to podcast episode number 1 for a long-winded story of camp.
Yeah.
So Josh is in that too.
I was there.
But yeah, I think something that's important about this conversation is that we really met. And right when I met you, you were doing this whole 40-day cleanse at the time. And I remember wanting to go explore Portland and the food trucks, and Portland's such a foodie city. And you're like, sorry, dude, I'm doing this cleanse right now when you were only eating apples as snacks. And I was just like, what the heck?
Let's go drink some beers.
Yeah. At the time I wanted to get into craft beer making, and I loved beer, even though my background is in nutrition. So I lived a really healthy lifestyle for the most part. Didn't realize how much more, health I could acquire or embody. But Josh really kind of was the epitome of health, which is why he always feels great all the time.
That's true. I do. That's funny now thinking back to that moment when you were like, I just really like beer. And I was like, oh, well, that's not going to work for me. That's one thing we're not going to bond on.
And we'll get into a little bit about why that is. But I think it's really interesting to look back because, since I've known Brooke, she's been the one, pushing all the healthy goodness onto everyone around us out of deep love and care of eating organic and staying away from seed oils and eating clean as possible and supplementing with the superfoods and really optimizing the human experience through food and nutrition. But it's crazy to think back that there was a time where, somebody was also a good influence on catalyzing her. And I know, everyone knows that Brooke and Purium just go together.
But Josh was the original Purium drinker.
He's
before
the original.
I got on it, and I wanted nothing to do with it for the longest time. And I was just taking sips of his green drink here and there, but he was all about it. And you're also the reason that I don't really... I pretty much stopped drinking for the most part since becoming friends with you, having a beer here or there. And then also starting my meditation journey, which wasn't really part of my life. But Josh is meditating every single day, twice a day, religiously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey with meditation?
Wow. Well, meditation came to me sort of after I had decided to give up my dark love of the poison, the booze. I was just kind of just looking for something. I had some friends that were doing it, and I just
booze or meditation?
Well, both. But I wasn't hanging out with the booze friends anymore, and
right.
I just kind of needed something to ground me, and I went and took a course for transcendental meditation. It's called TM for short. It's the one that the Beatles brought over here and made famous. And I just really gravitated towards that. It just felt right. And I've done it every day since. That's been over a decade now, I think.
Whoa.
And yeah, it's one of those things they tell you when you learn the process, that it feels like it becomes like brushing your teeth, that when you don't do it, something feels off.
Something feels a little fuzzy.
Yeah, and that is true. I'm definitely in that place now where it's like my body feels the moment where I'm like, oh, gotta go recharge, gotta go tate, as we say. Gotta shorten the word to tate. Gotta tate. Everybody's like, what? Gotta eat a tate? No, I gotta go tate. So
Master Tater.
Master Tater. That's right.
Master Tater. He's always the Master Tate in public.
He does. He crumples stilts.
They call it crumple stilt skin.
Because Josh, like, you look over at him and he crumples up, dude. He's just out. He's just out there in the void.
Exploring, surfing the quantum realm.
Riding the quantum realm.
That is never intentional, the crumple still skin. That just sometimes it happes where I get so caught up in it and my head will just drop down and I'm like...
Didn't you get a device for that?
A device?
No, I've been thinking about getting something to keep my head straight, but I haven't done that yet. So I just embraced
a little duct tape to the chair. You know, keep the forehead back.
Looks very peaceful.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so meditation was something that you found after when you stopped drinking. So why don't we rewind?
Yeah.
And bring us to the place where the moment that you really had to rise, into the person that you have become today. Like, what was that pivotal moment for you?
And even before that, like paint how like bad it was.
Okay.
Or, like
take us into the life of Josh before Josh felt great.
So I'll just give you a brief overview of my story. So I grew up in the South in Tennessee, and I lived the, normal, sad American lifestyle, just eating garbage and doing all the things that most people do. And partying was a big part of my high school lifestyle. It's just kind of what we did, it was a small town. There was not much to do. So we just did a lot of drinking. And that sort of just became a habit. And then I moved to New York City to be an actor, and I took that with me. I was drinking the whole time I was there, pretty much, but not heavily at that point, because I was in a show. I was in a show off Broadway off and on for about 5 years. It's called The Fantastics. It's the longest running musical in history, and I played one of the leads in that for a good little while. It was the smallest off-Broadway house in New York City, down on Sullivan Street. And so it was not very much money. I'll just put it that way. It was a bit of a struggle to make ends meet there. But that's what I wanted to do. I was very creative. I did all the plays in high school. I was a singer, songwriter pretty early on in life. And then that move to New York was the moment. Like, this is what I want to do. And then, life happens. You get caught up in the scene. And I decided to move to LA. And when I moved to LA, that's when I really started drinking a lot. And it was really just about kind of finding that next big connection. You'd go out to meet people, and we'd go to all these parties, and we just drink. It was just like a job. I mean, I would joke about clocking in after my work schedule, and then I would have another 8-hour drink schedule, you know.
Dang.
And we would just drink till the sun came up a lot of times, you know, and then sleep all day and then go to work, come back and do it all over again. And I never really thought it was a problem during that time. And I was drinking probably 6 to 10 triple vodka drinks a night. You know, they called them Josh Tails. It was a triple vodka with a splash of cranberry for color. That was a Josh Tail. And that was the norm. And then every once in a blue moon, I would have just one too many, and I would get to a blackout state, and I would do stuff that I didn't remember. So I was in a relationship with someone, and we were living together, and I got to a place where I was completely blackout drunk and did not remember hooking up with her friend on the couch while she was asleep in the other room. And apparently she woke up and found me in this position, and smacked me awake. And I said, "Hey, baby, what's up?"
Damn.
I still to this day don't remember this. And that was a pretty big moment of, it was a pretty big wake up call. And before that happened, we were in this near fatal car accident together where we were hit by a flying car, literally a flying car. We were coming around a corner and this car was upside down and rolled on top of our car and rolled like 3 more times after it hit us.
Damn. Wait, wasn't that on like a crazy curve in LA? That's called like...
Yeah, they call it Dead Man's Curve. It's on Sunset Boulevard in Beverly Hills. And it's just this really sharp turn, and there's lights flashing everywhere to slow down. And I was driving fine, but I had a couple of drinks after work, or at least one drink, because that was just what we did. But the guy that hit us was really wasted, had open containers in the car, and was had a blood alcohol level that was just through the roof, supposedly. But he lived through that, and we did too, barely. If we had been hit straight on, we would have died. If we had got hit on top, we would have died for sure. And I looked over at my girlfriend, and her leg was caught underneath the dashboard, and her leg was blown up like a balloon. They had to cut her out of the car with the jaws of life, and the cops showed up and they separated us because the fire department was cutting her out of the car, and the police are over here trying to give me a breathalyzer and walking me through all the sobriety check stuff. And I was like, you need to go see if that guy over there is alive. And they were like, what guy? Because the car was so far off the road, they didn't even see him. And I was like, the guy that just hit us, the car that just flew out of the sky.
Because they thought it was you guys. Like, they didn't know. They thought you were the one causing the accident.
Yeah. So that was a few months of dealing with the aftermath of that. I mean, I had a fractured sternum and a broken foot. It was like 4 or 5 months of healing. And then my partner had to get pretty big surgery on her leg and still has a metal rod in her leg to this day. So that was a moment. That was a wake-up call. That was one of those, here comes the end, like slow motion moments. And then when it wasn't the end, it was like, okay, that could have been it, you know? And I didn't stop drinking right then. It still took a few more months, but that was the beginning of my recognition of the problem. And then when that thing happened where I was blacking out and doing stuff that I didn't remember and hurting people that I loved, I was like, I gotta do something about this. So that was the moment, the rising moment, was that just facing this realization and deciding whether or not I wanted to keep going down that road or if I wanted to actually man up and stop being an idiot. And that was what happened. And I moved out. I moved in by myself, and I really started going inward. And that's when meditation became the practice that really helped me to become who I am today. I was also watching a bunch of documentaries on health stuff. I watched this one documentary called Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead that really is all about like juicing and getting fruits and vegetables in your diet. And that was when I was like, oh, that's something I can easily incorporate into my diet. And through that and meditation and all these self-care practices, I really just started to become a monk.
We call Josh Papa Buddha sometimes.
Papa Buddha, yeah.
Yeah. You gotta get the shaved head look.
Right.
Like Matt over here.
Yeah, exactly.
There's hair up there. What are you talking about?
Josh has very luscious, beautiful locks.
Yeah.
Right?
So
and these are short now.
Yeah, what? Like you did that all on your own?
Yeah. So that whole idea of doing AA was just not something that appealed to me at all. I did not want to go sit in rooms and tell people my story. And, people around town that knew me and knew my partner at the time, it was humiliating, that this had happened. And I didn't want to really see anybody. I just kind of holed up and just started focusing on me and really becoming my own man, my own person. And I really didn't want to see anybody for a while. And people were calling and being like, dude, you got to come out. I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I need to focus on me. And who am I without this substance? Because that was really hard to identify myself without it, because it had been part of my life for so long. So it took a while. It took, a good little while before I was able to kind of come out of my hole and reintroduce myself to the world as the new version of me. And, that took some time, but once that happened, I really started to just become more of who I am today. And I started to, I actually decided to leave Hollywood, LA.
Hollyweird.
Hollyweird. Yep. That was something that I had, was a dream for so long, but I wasn't really getting a lot of work in that department. I mean, I did a few things. I had some cool things happen. I got a movie made that I co-wrote with a couple of friends, and we co-starred in it together. And, there were little things here and there, little bit parts and some good sized things that were fun to be able to be a part of. But for the most part, I was just chasing the dream and chasing the bottle at the same time. So I had to get out of there. And that's when I moved to Portland. And that's when I met Brookie.
Sheesh. Dang. So it sounds like a lot of your, what had you be successful was like saying no to these environments and people that were associated or centered around drinking.
Definitely. Yeah. That was a really strange thing, because every night we'd go to the same bars and I had my circle of drinking friends. And when I removed that from the equation, it was like, well, now what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Like, who am I going to hang out with? Where's my people?
What did you do? Like, how did you
work through that?
Manage that or find new people?
Yeah. Like that's a big part of what keeps us fulfilled and in enjoyment and connection. One of our pillars at Rise to Thrive, like community is a big part of it. Like going through that kind of major transition and changing your habits up and letting go of an addiction, and doing it all on your own. That's not easy.
Yeah. No, I mean, in hindsight, I don't look at it as being this, huge mountain I had to climb. It was just what I did at the time, and it was how I chose to do it. Whereas, everybody has their own method, but I joke about being a raging social butterfly, because that was the lifestyle in that town, was connecting with people. And, that having the alcohol as that connecting tool, it's so hilarious now because I see that as just being the opposite of a connector. It really does separate you from each other at the end of the day because you start to become a different person, So, yeah, having that removed really just helped me to see who I want to be around. And, they say your vibe attracts your tribe. Well, I raised my vibration and then I started attracting people that were a lot more conscious. And also leaving LA really helped that for me too. And just kind of getting away from the scene and the people I was hanging around with, And I have nothing against those people now. We're different people now. So I've got a totally different community in my life, and I feel much happier with the people I'm around now.
Yeah.
Do you think that you felt really great back then?
I might have thought that I felt great. That's the thing. I was a happy drunk. I had a great time. I have some crazy stories. It's some really fun nights. I'm not going to lie and say that I didn't enjoy that time.
Right.
But I didn't have much to show for it at the end of the day.
True.
So interesting. Yeah. It's like, even just thinking about my journey with alcohol too. Like, I feel like I will never be able to experience the feeling that I felt when I was drinking back in college. Like the fun, like I was always stoked, the happiness, the joy, like this energy, the connection that you speak of, like it's like done with me now. I just get sick if I drink more than, me and Matt, like if we're going to drink, we share a beer every now and then. And we're like not even really doing that too often anymore. But even having like 2 beers, I just feel shitty. So it's fascinating how something can play such a big role in your life, and then when it's done with you, it's done with you. And it's like, nope. And like you said, the raising of the vibration, increasing your frequency, it's like I kind of outgrew that frequency of alcohol, which tends to be a lower vibrational frequency.
Exactly. Yeah. And now that I'm on this journey of trying to spread awareness, I decided when I left LA, I decided that I was really interested in health, because of my desire to start juicing. And, I always kind of worked out, but I just really started getting interested in how the body operates and, how you can feel so much better when you're putting good things into your body. And through that process, I decided to become a health coach. So I went through a program online and then I wound up writing this book about my alcohol struggles. It's called How to Be a Better You Without Booze. And that was just something I needed to get out, and it was not because I didn't go through AA, because I didn't do the traditional routes that a lot of people do. I wanted to just say, look, here's a pretty simple plan, and incorporating good habits into your life instead of bad habits. I talk about how our body overrides our brain a lot of times, and that, when you're craving things, your body is saying, yeah, you want this, but your brain's like, no, that's probably not the best thing I could be doing for myself. But your body's like, yes, it is. So it overrides the brain, and then you wind up creating all these really terrible habits. So just by replacing the bad habits with good habits, it puts you in this place of feeling better and wanting to put more good things in your body and doing more good things for yourself. It's rare that anyone would sit down to meditate and then get up and be like, okay, let's go pound some beers. It just doesn't really make sense for your physiology, that you're craving something completely opposite of that.
So if somebody were listening to this and were like in a position where they wanted to stop drinking, what advice would you give them? Like, what were the main habits that really changed your life?
I have to say the meditation is probably the main tool that is in my toolbox. That going inward, most people don't are afraid to go inward because it forces them to look at themselves.
Mm-hmm.
People don't want to do that. And also, every time you meditate, you change. So when you come out of that meditation, you're a different person.
Mm.
And most people are afraid of change. So incorporating any kind of meditative practice, even if it's 5 minutes a day, even if it's a walking meditation, playing music is a huge meditative practice for me. That is something that I just feel really good and centered when music is flowing through my body. So I would say meditation would be probably one of the first things, and grounding in nature is another major tool that you just putting your bare feet on the earth gets you in touch with nature and where we come from. And that is just so powerful. So those would probably be the first two things. And then it would go from there. Nutrition is obviously a major part of that too. The gut microbiome and how, our 90% of our serotonin is in our gut. So if our gut's out of whack, then our mood is out of whack. So
you think a lot of people drink, on the mood front, it's like, oh, well, what's interesting is it's like people will feel bad and they'll drink, and they'll feel good and they'll drink. It's like this reward, or it's this thing that they go to for the mood, the specific mood that they're in.
Boost.
Definitely. Yeah, that's very common. And rewarding yourself with a drink is hilarious now. It's like rewarding yourself by, let's celebrate by hurting ourselves. Just doesn't really compute. But that's, the world we live in. It's the fact that it's being pushed down our throats on a constant basis. More money goes into beer commercials than any other product in the world.
More than pharmaceuticals?
I believe so.
Holy
it may be pharmaceuticals might have taken over now, but I'm
Would
pretty
you rather
sure.
drink a beer a day or take a handful of pharmaceuticals every day?
Wow.
Got him.
Got him.
None of the above.
What's the right answer?
I would wash down the pharmaceuticals with the beer.
Oh, geez.
That's how I would do it.
And that's the epitome of America, everybody. But no shame.
Right.
We're not trying to do that because everyone is at the perfect place in their journey, as we all once were, right? It's like I am that too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious, transitioning more into the nutrition front. I mean, it sounds like you had some, those powerful tools to help you formulate some new habits. And it sounds like you got into nutrition before you left LA because you were bringing that with you to Portland when you met Brooke and you started that cleanse. And what did that transition look like? How did you start to improve your diet, improve your nutritional intake, and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think just the fruits and vegetables, honestly. That one documentary, Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, was just this huge eye-opener for, and I don't know if you guys have seen that documentary, but
that one. I don't think so.
It's really great. This Australian guy who comes to America to get healthy because he wanted to put himself in the most unhealthy place.
Oh.
And because he was fat, sick, and nearly dead, and then he starts juicing and just completely transforms his body and his life and sheds all this weight, and then he goes around and is sharing it with other people, and same thing starts happening to these other people, and it's just this really well done documentary that makes you realize how important it is to get fruits and vegetables in your diet. And so that was pretty much the first step. I saw that doc and I went and got a juicer and I just started juicing vegetables and getting greens, especially in my diet, because greens, there's so much healing power in greens, and most people don't get greens at all. And if they do, it's like in a salad, and then they throw a bunch of terrible dressing on top that makes it not healthy anymore. So that was really when I started to feel the difference in my body and being attracted to fruits and vegetables, the colors and putting them in the juicer and touching the fruit and cutting it and all the, you just become a lot more connected to the food that you're putting in your body. And then I started getting into cooking more and just being a part of my food instead of going and getting McDonald's or Burger King or whatever crap was the easiest to get after a night of drinking,
What was your go-to?
I was going to ask.
I liked Quiznos a lot. Quiznos. I did Subway a lot.
Yeah.
And just because I thought those were healthier.
Yeah.
You think that it's healthy to eat yoga mats?
Yoga mats?
It came out that there's the same material that's in yoga mats in Subway's bread.
Oh, it's in Subway's bread.
Yeah.
So maybe people think maybe if I eat a yoga mat, it'll be like I did yoga.
Like I'm doing yoga. Next best thing.
Next best thing.
Don't eat yoga mats, everyone.
Don't eat yoga mats.
Highly don't recommend.
I feel you, though. I was the same. I was like, Brooke knows, I'm a sucker for a good sandwich. I mean, we all went out for some great sandwiches the other day, but, thinking a lot of people thought that Subway was like a healthier fast food option or Quiznos too, like the way it was marketed too, that whole like arc of that character Jared who lost all this weight by eating Subway and the Atkins diet and all that stuff. Like the marketing was brilliant.
Well, Subway, eat fresh.
Eat fresh too, the slogan.
Yeah.
They the tricky. The little tricksters out there.
Yeah.
With all the health washing and greenwashing that exists. It's really challenging. And I think all of us find that in the space of being in the health world of how freaking confusing it can be and just overwhelming, and it leaves people just being complacent because they don't even know which way is the right way to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Overwhelmed and stagnant.
Yeah, definitely. I think about, the more you learn, the more you're dodging all of these toxins that are out there. I think about the Matrix a lot, how Neo does this whole thing from the bullets, that's kind of how we go through life now, is like dodging those bullets, like, oh, nope, not taking that, not doing that, not touching that.
Mm-hmm.
And, it pays off when you can avoid all that stuff as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. Josh is also the Benjamin Button.
That's right.
Just so you know, he's aging backwards, so... just by him being him.
Take a guess in the comments without fast forwarding in this. How old is Josh, everybody?
Chronological
age. Drop it in the comments. No cheating.
No cheating.
Maybe he doesn't even want to tell us that.
Maybe not.
Maybe he keeps everyone guessing.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to do that. I really love when people do find out and they get really shocked.
We could say that you're a couple decades older than I am.
Yeah, that is true. We have 22 years between us.
That's right.
That's right.
22 sandwich, baby. Speaking of sandwiches.
22 sandwich. That's right.
My lucky number is 21 and his is 23. He met me when I was 23. And then we're 22 years apart. So
that's the 22 sandwich. Yep. Yeah. But my metabolic age is 12, 13 years younger currently, but I'm working on that and dropping.
Not that we have to be like, I guess because we were listening to that podcast yesterday on like the whole longevity thing and trying to like live forever. And we went deep into the like the morality and like ethics kind of around that. And it's like, why?
What's it all for?
Why? What is it all for? But that's a good question. It's like, what is it all for? What is being healthy for you?
Yeah. Feeling good is a much better place to be in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And when I can hike up a mountain and feel really that's easy for me to do, when I can explore things and not feel scared or like, oh, my body's not going to allow me to do that. It's just limiting. I want to know that my body is going to be there for me to do whatever I want to do in this world. And motion is lotion. So the more I move my body, the more I feel comfortable in my body and knowing that I can do all the things I want to do.
Is it like motion is goat lotion?
It's goat lotion.
Now a super fan of goat lotion, y'all. If you haven't got a hold of some good goat lotion, this episode is not sponsored by goat lotion, but get yourself
maybe it should be.
Get yourself a goat, dude, and just
get
milk
a goat.
it.
Milk that goat, make your own lotion.
Bond with that goat, know exactly how you're treating that goat, and rub that lotion all over your skin.
Yes.
Even if you're in the suburbs, get yourself a suburb goat.
Anything is possible.
There's suburb chickens down the road.
Unlimited. You are unlimited in all the possibilities of having a goat in your apartment.
So true.
Speaking of motion is lotion, how did you feel on the pickleball courts with us when you...
I was just thinking about pickleball. I was like, who's going to bring it up?
Who's going to bring it up? No episode goes without at least a cameo from pickleball.
Pickleball's got to make its presence known. I tell you, I had a really good time playing with you guys. And I know that's part of the fun of it all, is that it's fun to be out there jumping around and hitting balls back and forth. But you guys are just the fun that you bring to the game and the goofiness, and it was just such a joy to watch you guys and to be among you and competing against you, but not really competing that much because it's like, whatever, we're just having fun. But we had some pretty close games that were nail biters.
Yeah.
So I loved that we were getting to that place where it was like, okay, this is a serious game now, you know?
Josh is getting it, dude.
Gosh, you improved a lot in just those few days we played. And we had our other friend Mark in town too. So Brooke and I split up and mentoring these young pickleballers out there, and we brought the vibe, we brought the music. It's a freaking dance party out there.
It really is.
It's like there's no other way. That's the thing. When we like bring the bass music and we're getting crunchy out there, and it's just like, I don't know. Then you take the music away, and it's super weird. It's like, how do I play without music? No,
especially
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Especially when there aren't many people down there, and you got a bunch of empty courts around, and it's just like tumbleweeds. And then just you playing, it's just like, for us, I know we play better when there's energy there, and music helps bring the energy. And I don't know, even between shots, you know, we're keeping it moving.
Shake it up.
Shake it up.
Moving.
Keep it moving.
What are you shaking up these days, Josh?
Oh, well, you know, I'm always shaking up a good smoothie.
Yeah.
I mean, the superfoods that we consume on a regular basis from Purium, you know, those are just knowing that I can get everything I need in one easy shake is so great. It's so convenient. It's tested in the highest vibration organic food that we can get, and knowing that I can trust it is just, it's peace of mind, peace of body, all of it. So I'm mixing in those greens, the kamut, the barley green juice right now I have, you know, it just, whatever I get from them, I throw it in my smoothie and I shake it up. And
what's one of your secret practices that keeps you extra young and vibrant?
One of my extra practices?
What are your secret?
What
are your secret practices?
One of your favorite golden practices.
Oh,
the golden practice.
Oh, so yeah. Well, this is a pretty controversial subject that I don't share very often because most people hear this and they think it's absolutely absurd. But I have learned a lot about urine therapy in the last few years, and I've been incorporating that into my regimen, and it's pretty great, I have to say. they talk about self-love practices, that this is one of the best self-love practices you can do, because you're literally re-entering your plasma back into your system, and it makes you feel really good. And you're getting all these extra stem cells, using it as a lotion for the face. Well, not a lotion, but putting it on the face for topically, swishing it in the mouth for the teeth, for oral health. I mean, there's all these things you can do with it, and it doesn't cost you a thing. It's your own perfect medicine. In fact, there's a book that I haven't read yet, but it's called Your Own Perfect Medicine, that really gets into the importance of using that as a medicine. And yeah, I mean, it still sounds crazy when I say it, and I don't tell too many people about it, because their immediate reaction is, "Are you insane?"
And you're like,
"Why
yep,
would you do that?"
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Keeps me young.
Insane.
Keeps me young and healthy.
Yeah, even though we're not really the insane ones.
Right.
It's the clown world, the upside down world.
Yep. But once you get past the mental part of it, it really is, it just makes more sense. Like, when you're doing it, you're like, oh, I mean, I don't get sick. I haven't been sick in, I don't even know how long. It's been 15 years or more, probably. And I mean, I'm talking headaches, congestion. I don't get any of that stuff. And it's primarily because I'm constantly doing all these practices, but it's also just not in my realm. I don't even think about the idea of getting sick. If I feel anything coming on, I'm like, oh, no, that's not happening. I'll nip it in the bud before it becomes an illness. And it's through the urine therapy, and, I do apple cider vinegar and ginger and cane pepper and honey. That's my little hot shot. I do that every morning as well. And that just keeps inflammation down. It keeps the mucous membranes flowing and all that. So there's just so many different things that once you feel the benefit of something, it's like, well, I'm not going to stop doing that now because I feel better doing it. So
now taking care of yourself is a full-time job.
Exactly.
It really is, though.
Yeah.
I mean, ABC, always be cleansing.
Always be cleansing, baby.
Like Josh said, it's like we're constantly dodging, the matrix vibe, dodging all the toxicity. It's coming at us from every direction. Water, sky, food, air, all of it. I mean, you constantly got to be staying on top of helping the body cleanse and detoxify and purify. And it's a lot of work. It's overwhelming,
But it's worth it.
It's worth it. We're all out here doing our best to stay educated and stay up to date on these cutting edge practices. And so much of it is like going back to these ancient ways, right? Going back to the plants and herbalism, and working with these tinctures and herbs and things and superfoods,
detoxing glyphosate, working with the humic and the fulvic acids and what nature provides.
Yep.
But I get it. I have so much compassion for people out there who are like overwhelmed, because we get there too. We're like, oh shit, another thing we trusted that we thought was good for us.
Right.
Got to eliminate that and find an alternative or pivot, or, got to,
it's like you get to a point where you're like, what can you consume?
I know.
Anymore.
Even being a breatharian ain't healthy with the shit trickling from the sky.
True.
That used to be my joking answer of like, we'll just all become breatharians, but even that's not healthy anymore.
So, right.
Yeah, but a lot of it is the mind.
Totally.
And
mind for sure. And the light, the sunlight, getting the right types of light into our eyeballs.
On our skin.
On our skin.
And your butthole.
Very valuable. What was that?
What?
What'd you say?
I didn't say anything.
Nothing. You had to listen intently. If you didn't catch it, we ain't going to repeat it.
But I do got to say, like, being on this path of health and wellness, it's brought these humans into my life. And like Josh said, it's like your vibe attracts your tribe. And like, we take the time to reflect and take a look at our people and our community and our group of humans that we spend time with. And they're all so rad and all on the same kind of wavelength and having way more fun and more sober and more healthy, and just we like geek out on this stuff. So even when people are approaching cleanses or detoxes, like for us, we do them together. I did my first 30-day transformation with Josh in Portland, and it's just like we're cooking together, we're going through our pantry together, we're shopping together. It had its challenges, but having somebody to do it with is so much better. And me and Matt have done a lot of crazy cleanses and fasts and things like that. And like doing it on my own would be so much more challenging.
Yeah. It does make it fun, especially, I know you just did a 3-day fast, Josh, but like, going through those alone is challenging, but when you do it with a friend and you push each other, and it's like when you're feeling down and low energy, it's like you can be down together and, get out in nature, go for the walks and,
look at food.
Look at food videos or
torture yourself.
Torture yourself by dreaming of like, what are we going to make the first week back?
But don't get too crazy because you got to ease it. You can't just have a big old bowl of gnocchi and sausage and this whole meal that we planned out after we were coming out of a cleanses to celebrate our 1-year anniversary. But we're like, hold up. We
shouldn't eat that the first day after this mucoid plaque cleanse. I always just want to eat like a friggin' like a pesto, like
sandwich?
Mozzarella, I don't know, like prosciutto sandwich. Those are the things that always end up in my feed when we're fasting. I'm like, God, I gotta stop watching this.
The feed that you cannot feed on.
No.
Right.
No
Feast
feeding.
With your eyes only.
No feeding on the feed.
Yep.
But yeah, we have fun with it.
Which is so great to have someone you can do that with and that you're on the same page. I know a lot of people that are in relationships that are coming from different angles and butt heads on that kind of stuff, But you're talking about the feed as far as, our access to information now. It's crazy how much information is available to us, and I learned something new every single day, and I'll send it to you guys, and if something comes up that I've never even thought about or heard about, I'm like, oh, I can easily try that or work it into my routine. And, something as simple as like sitting down to drink water. That was something that I read a thing about recently that was like, I've never heard that before. I've never even thought about that. It's like if you're on the go, you're just taking it back, standing, whatever, you don't think about it, but it actually does benefit you to sit down and actually let it rest and digest and absorb into your body in a slow manner as opposed to chugging it down.
And speaking to it before you chug it down.
Speaking to it, yeah.
Or just sending your intention into it, yeah. Just saying, thank you for healing my body. Thank you for creating harmony in my cells. Thank you for hydrating my cells. I am healed.
Yeah, that goes a long way. For sure.
That's a whole other rabbit hole. Watering hole.
Watering hole, yeah. Yeah, we got really into the water there for a while, you and I, especially the hydrogen water, and learning the value of that particular molecule and how it's the smallest molecule on the periodic table.
Yeah.
And being able
molecule of life.
Yeah. Being able to hydrate ourselves with that, adding that into the mix, it's valuable, and of course, filtering out the toxins that are in most of the water that we come across and avoiding microplastics. And there's so many things to sideswipe,
Yeah.
We're doing it. We're doing our best.
We're doing it, and we're having fun doing it.
That's right.
We are having fun doing it. And that's, a big part of this movement with Rise to Thrive and the community ongoingly expanding and growing is so people don't feel so alone. And, have a place to go to help start to dispel some of the confusion out there and to cleanse with each other and to, swap hacks. Like, what are you doing for this? What are you doing for salt? What salts are you using? Like collaborating and sharing and checking information against fellow community members is so helpful because there's so much to digest. It's like you can't do it all yourself. So sharing this information and masterminding around health has been such a game changer, and we want to continue to make that available for people, have a place where they can come and ask questions. And, we've got a school community coming very soon. Obviously, we've got our cleanses that we guide people through, and they can do those with us if they're interested. But there's going to be some new offerings out there. And anybody who just wants to consume the podcast, we're going to have some great guests on and be sharing lots of good information via this medium too.
And maybe the school will be out when this podcast comes out.
What?
So check it. We'll put the links in the description. Say what up. Give us some love. Say hi. Like, that's what we want to create, is like, we want to get to know you. We want to hear from you. We want to connect with you. Like, that's what we love to do. Yeah. We love our fellow humans, and we love geeking out on this stuff and inviting people into our worlds and collaborating and co-creating and just seeing how we can, make the world a little bit more of a peaceful, loving, fun, playful, curious place again.
100%.
Yeah. I feel you.
So, but yeah, we'll ask Josh, what does a thriving life mean to you?
I think a thriving life is about staying in a positive mindset, and that requires self-love. So the more things you can do to provide self-love, the better you're going to feel and the more you're going to thrive. So that's what it means to me. I feel like we joke about how I always feel good. It's because I genuinely do feel really good because I'm doing a lot of things to make sure that I feel good. And it's a lot of people look at me like I'm a weirdo, but these are non-negotiables: the meditation, the nutrition, the grounding, the movement. These are things that they make me feel better. So, giving me the ability to thrive and the freedom to be able to do anything I want, go anywhere I want, physically be able to handle myself in situations that are maybe a little stressful, that is all thriving to me.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And is there any offerings that you have going on right now that you want to share with the listeners?
Well, I have this TikTok page I started. And it's sort of started as through a friend that was into it. And it's the same as my book title, How to Be a Better You Without Booze. And it's at J1Wade, Wade. That's the handle. And I have probably 300 plus videos on there now of just 1 minute subjects about what alcohol does to your body, what it does to your spirit, your essence, your energy, your brain, your heart, your everything. And once I started doing that, I have not run out of subjects to cover, because there's just so many angles to show, and that it is the one thing that I look at as a society that is problematic on a grand scale, and that if we can all reel that back in, recognize how dangerous it is, that we can all thrive. And I want to just spread that awareness. And this TikTok page is kind of the first spot I've had the freedom to kind of just put it out there. And I haven't even told a lot of friends of mine that I'm on that, but I've been putting videos up every day for a while now, since close to a year, I think. So yeah, so that would be a place I would say, if you want to find me, follow me on TikTok.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And if somebody was like, yo, this guy Josh knows what's up, I resonate with him. I like the way he did things. I'm trying to get off alcohol. Like, how can I get extra support with this journey?
Yeah. Well, that's my thing too, is coaching, is, one-on-one coaching. I'm creating a school platform as well. And I want to build a community of thriving humans that are feeling better in their bodies without that particular toxin, because it really does bring you down in so many ways. And I went through it the hard way. And now that I've had it out of my life for over 15 plus years, I just can't even believe I used to drink the way I did. And I am just, that person that I was back then is not even close to who I am today. And if I hadn't removed that poison, I would not feel that way. So, so I'm open to getting on the phone if anybody wants to talk talk about where they're at and see if I can provide some guidance and support. And we'll feel better together.
Let's go. So they can connect with you through your TikTok? Reach out?
Yeah, through TikTok. My Instagram is also the same handle, @J1Wade. I'm not on there as much, but you can find me on there too.
Cool.
Awesome. Sweet.
Right on.
Well, thanks for being here, Josh. Thanks for
having me, guys.
Our first guest.
I feel so honored. I'm so honored to be the first guest. Me and the lamp. Don't forget lamp. The lamp back
and
there.
Lamp.
Also...
I think lamp turned off.
Oh shit! I knew that.
Oh no!
Happen.
Damn, she got to get juiced up, dude.
She got to get her nutrition in.
Yep, that's right. We got to feed Lamp.
Feed Lamp.
Okay. Well, we better do that right now.
Priority is feed Lamp, and then whatever comes next. And it's snowing right now, if you guys can see. We're in Northern California, and this was the first snow that we've had in quite a while.
Yeah, it's a winter wonderland out there. We were just out there frolicking
in the snow. So wholesome.
So magical. We joked that we were gonna just spend all day playing Christmas carols and baking, just because it feels like
actual Christmas.
Now it feels like Christmas.
Now.
But we're also going to head down to the pickleball court because it's the perfect time to play.
Yeah.
There's nobody out there right now.
Stay tuned for that video.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that, actually.
All right. Anything else? Anything else pressing that you're like, oh my God, I need to get this out or I might implode?
Just my urine is pressing on my bladder right now. And I need to go relieve myself.
Okay.
Well,
don't drink it all at once.
Yeah.
Chug. Chug. It's a new kind of chug.
That's right.
All right,
I
Josh.
love you guys. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you.
Good to see you
too. As always. Peace.
Peace.